Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Angelina and today we're going to be doing my January TBR. I can't believe I'm already doing this video. I don't know when this video is going to go up, but I think it might be going up on Christmas Day. So if it is, Merry Christmas. I'm filming this at the beginning of December, so it's not quite Christmas yet for me, but Merry Christmas if I am posting this on Christmas Day. But let's talk about the books. I think I have 11 of them that I want to try and read in January. So the first two books I'm going to be talking about are ones that I actually got off of NetGalley. So thank you to the person who approved my NetGalley request for these books. But these two books aren't actually out yet. And of course the first one is You Won't Forget Me by Mazey Eddings. I love Mazey Eddings. If you're new here, you might not know, but Mazey Eddings is one of my all-time favorite romance authors. She just writes really great romances that are so funny but also emotional. They always also have some sort of neurodiversity rep in them, which I absolutely love. But this is her next sapphic book. This will be her second sapphic book that she has written, I believe. But this one is actually following characters from Tilly and Technicolor. Now, Tilly and Technicolor is her YA book, but this one is an adult romance following Tilly's sister, who we do see in Tilly and Technicolor, but it is her sister's romance. And I believe this one has something to do with the band, and I believe it's like fake dating the wrong person kind of trope, which is really exciting because I don't think I've ever read a book with that trope before, so I'm really excited to read this one. Oh, and that one comes out in June of 2026. And then we have Writing the Line by Emma Lucy. This one comes out in July, but I believe it's like an age gap, brother's best friend cowboy romance, and that's like all I know about this book. I don't know too much about it, but I have heard really good things about this author before, so I'm really excited to try this one out. And also I have been really loving like small town cowboy romances lately, so I'm excited to give this one a try. And if you've seen my 2026 reading goals video, I'll have that linked in the description and up in the cards if you haven't. I actually just finished recording that one before filming this video, but that one, I say that my big goal for 2026 is reading books set in other countries, and so I decided that one of the countries that I was missing was Mexico, and technically I have read books set in Mexico before, but not in the past 2 years since I started tracking the countries that I'm reading books from. So I decided to go with Vampires of El Norte by Isabel Canas, and this one is by an author I've heard so many great things about. I know this book was like a runner-up in I think the horror category on Goodreads, but I believe it's set in Mexico. I know it has to do with the US and Mexican War, and it's like set on the border of Mexico and Texas, so I'm really excited to give this one a try. I have no clue what to expect from this book because it's actually tagged with horror, historical fiction, fantasy, and romance, I believe, so I'm very curious about what this one is going to be about. I can predict vampires are going to be involved somehow, but I'm really excited to give this one a try. I also want to read Velocity Weapon. This is a sci-fi book following this woman who wakes up, I believe, like 230 years in the future, and she's on an abandoned enemy ship, and the ship is entirely powered by AI, and that's like all I know about this book. But I remember being in high school reading one series. I can't think of the name of it. I feel like it was like Illumina something. I don't know. I can't think of the title. I might have like a picture of it. But it was a series, like a sci-fi series that had to do with AI running a ship. And I really loved that series, and this is giving me like the adult vibes of that series, so I'm really intrigued to get to this one. It is a bit of a chunkier one, but I'm really excited for it. I'd also like to read Mary by Nat Cassidy. I read another book by this author in 2025, and that was Nestlings, and I gave that one 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. But this is his more popular book, and I also believe this is his very first horror that he wrote, so I do really want to read this one. But this one I have heard is a lot different from Nestlings in that this is more of a slower paced horror, I believe, but it's following Mary, who is a middle-aged woman who I think is going through menopause and like all these different side effects of becoming older, and then she ends up getting visions of a serial killer, and I think like the whole question is if she's actually a serial killer or if she's just having visions of a serial killer. So I'm very curious about how this book will go, but I love nestlings so much, so I really want to read this one. Next is Twisted Hate by Anna Huang. I own the audiobook of this one, but this is book 3 in this Twisted series. I'm not sure what the actual series name is, and I don't know anything about this book or like what characters it's following or anything, but I read book 2 in this series a couple months ago and I enjoyed it. I definitely see promise in this series. It wasn't my favorite, but again, I see promise in this series and I do own this one as an audiobook, so I do want to give it a try. I would also like to read Nymph on the Rocks by Lizzie Strong. This is an author who I have really enjoyed a bunch of books by, but I actually got to meet this author in person to get another book by her signed, and while I was getting that book signed, I decided to pick this one up. I don't know what this one is about, but again, I really enjoy her books and I was meeting her in person, so I wanted another book that I could get signed. So this one is personalized to me, and so I've had this one on my shelves for quite a while, but I really want to pick it up and give it a go because, again, it's personalized to me, so I do really want to read it. And the next book that I want to read is Manhunt. This is another horror book. I definitely feel like 2026 is going to be like my year of reading horror, especially if you see my anticipated releases video. Like, all of those books were pretty much horror books. There were a few other genres mixed in, but there's so many good horror books coming out in 2026. I'll also have that video linked if you're interested, but yeah, I just feel like 2026 is going to be my year for horror. And this one is one that I've had on my shelves for so long. It's following these 3 people in this like dystopian world. I think there's like feral men that they have to like protect themselves from, and so they like hunt these feral men and like harvest their organs, and I just feel like it's going to be a really fun satirical horror, so I'm really looking forward to reading this one. In sort of that same vein, I have the audiobook of Annibot, which I've been really wanting to get to, and I know this is another one that has like a lot of commentary on like the current state of the world, but it is following a female robot and her human male owner, and yeah, it's talking a lot about autonomy and obviously AI, where the world is going, of people having robots for significant others, and this one I've just heard so many great things about, so I really want to get to it. Another book that I feel like I've only heard positive reviews about is Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. I know this book and like this author in general is so hyped up, and I really want to try out her books. I hear that they're super emotional, and so I'm just kind of ready for that kind of romance, but I believe it is a second chance romance, if I'm not mistaken, about these 2 people, I believe, who are married and have kids, and their marriage kind of falls apart and then they end up reconnecting. And so I do love a good second chance romance. It is one of my favorite tropes, so I am really excited to give this one a try and see what all the hype's about. And then the last book that I'm putting on my TBR is Everyone's Seen My Tits. This one is one that was actually sent to me by the publisher, so thank you to them. It was sent to me like many months ago, and I just haven't gotten around to reading it. But this one is a collection of feminist essays, and I believe it has a lot to do with this author's life being a model and an actor. And I believe there were some explicit photos shared on the internet of this author as a way of revenge, and I believe this book talks a lot about that. And this just seems like the kind of nonfiction that is right up my alley. I do love a good feminist nonfiction, so I do really want to get around to reading this one. But those are all of the books on my personal TBR for January. Definitely let me know in the comments below what books you're hoping to read in January. And if you don't want to do that, you can leave me like the little fireworks or like the confetti emoji, just because it is a new year, and yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!